the meeting so that we can go through into that. I just want to find out as well, where are you watching us from? In the chat there, please just let me know where you are watching us from. Whatever city or town, wherever you are in the chat there, just tell me where are you watching us from. So irrespective of where you are, if you are on the normal chat of Zoom, you can go in. Some people says Captain, and that was you, Rita, who said Captain.
I
know. Some people say Durban. Okay, good. Welcome, Durban. Who else do we have in the room? Okay. Oh, Manzimtoti, Port Elizabeth, Durban. Oh, we got a lot of Durbanites in the room. Yes. Okay, let's go. Who else? Over and above Johannesburg, we've got people from Johannesburg, Centurion, awesome stuff. Witbank. It's no longer called Witbank. It's called Emalahleni now, hey? It's called Emalahleni. I think that's the new name now. So awesome stuff. Great to have you guys. It looks like we have people all over the Lady Smith, a lot of people from KZN, and yeah, that's good stuff. Good to have you guys around. I am just going to go and jump into my presentation. I will be in the presentation mode, so which means that I won't be able to see you or to see any of your other comments going ahead because I'm now in presentation mode. But my co-hostess, she will be with me, and she will be able to answer all of your questions whilst we are asking the questions. So please, as I go along, I'm gonna fly through the presentation. And as I fly through, ask the questions in the chat, and Rita will be able to answer those as I go along. So I talk faster, she types faster. There I am, your host for tonight. And I am your captain in terms of being at M5 Property Addicts, and I look after the business there together with a wonderful team behind me and Rita. And Rita, she is my co-hostess. Rita, say hellos to the people.
Hi everybody. I will be typing away, so don't be shy to ask questions and chat and comment as we go along. I'll be happy to answer everything as quickly as I can.
Right. Do chat, yes, but listen to me. I am the one who's got all the answers. Yeah. All right. Once we go along, so back in the days, I am no different from anyone else, from you. And I started off, going to school. I got some good grades, and thereafter, I went to work. And from working, these are all the companies that, between myself and Rita, we have worked for. I was predominantly one of a banker for most of my life, and Rita she was in the consulting world for most of her life. But here's the thing. Both of us, we actually established that none of us knew that you could make money out of your taxes, right? So a lot of us, or should I say maybe a lot of you that are sitting here today, you are potentially sitting around about at 30% all the way to 45% in terms of your tax. What do I mean by that? I mean that SARS in today's world is definitely taking money that you are working for. If you are making, let's say, R1 million, 450 of that is going to SARS, right? But Rita and I, we were in a class one day, and this guy here called Robert Kiyosaki, and if you don't know any of his material, I urge you to go and read it. And he was talking about you can make money utilizing your taxes. And we asked ourselves the question, how? Does this actually work in South Africa? Because obviously he's American, and the thinking there was maybe this is an American thing. But we started digging and digging and digging, and out of that training that we were having, I want to also mention that Robert was talking about the 5 things that one should be investing in outside, just the normal investments of property. And one of them was the ground which we all know, which is real estate. And the reason why he was saying that is that real estate always appreciate. The other thing was gold, and for some of you, you might know minerals. They are God's money. They're everywhere, so they're God's money. And for that reason, you can invest and they're always appreciating. The other three, I'm going to leave it to you. Go and grab that book that is called Fake. It's a very good book. Read it and understand in terms of what else can you invest in that is always been appreciating. Robert Kiyosaki has been around for the last potentially 40, 60 years in terms of investing. So he has seen it all, and he's a dear teacher to me and Rita over the years. But as he was talking about these taxes that we were talking about, I just want to bring it back again in terms of what he was talking about, that you can make money out of your taxes, or you can get the properties, some more properties, whilst you're utilizing your taxes. And the question was how. But anyway, the real education that we've got out of people like Robert Kiyosaki, Rita and I, we've had many teachers over the last couple of years that we've been doing business. And what is that business? So we are a business in 5 cities. In the last 6 months, we have literally grown from 4 cities into 5 cities, and we are now in Potchefstroom. And before that, we were in Cape Town, Durban, Pretoria, and Johannesburg. And over and above that, we have recently just doubled our employees, and we're now on 71. And investors that have been investing with us, they've also increased now to 402. And these are ordinary people, just like you and I. And they come through, they invested their monies with us, they've entrusted us, and we have created properties out of that. And in these properties, guess what happens? 2 things. 219 families are staying within these properties. Over and above that, we do have other buildings where 320 students are calling those places home whilst they are going to their places of education. So with that, we are a growing business, and I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I would like you to be part of it, and by the end of this presentation, my hope is that you are going to invest with us, and we can make that money work into the various areas where we are investing in. My name is Taurai Jack. I'm Investor of the Year of 2019. And if I'm not doing properties, I do write books. And the latest book that I wrote is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. And that book is available. You can literally grab it on my website, and it's for free. There is no one who becomes successful without a successful team. Behind me sits other people who are always pushing alongside of me, shoulder to shoulder. And these are some of the guys that are working shoulder to shoulder too, with Rita and I, the likes of Hubert, Bevan, who's our property manager across the country, Joe Slee, she looks after our crowdfunding, and Elize, she makes sure that between when you invest with us, there is legal contracts between you and us. And then Joe, he also makes sure that we are reporting back to the Financial Service Board. So just like all the other banks, they've got what they call key people. And these are the people that report back to the Financial Service Board. And Joe is that person within our business. Over and above that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak to you guys tonight on what I want to call unfair windows of advantage. Unfair window or advantage. Why is it an advantage? Let me just talk about the unfair part of it. The unfair part of it is that all of us, we have lived in COVID. Some of us, we have even got COVID itself, and some of us, we have lost relatives in COVID. Well, this is a window that we are living in. It's going to come and pass. But for some people, when there is blood on the street, that's when the advantages kick in. So what has happened? Well, it's no secret in our markets that a lot of people have lost their jobs. So what happens to the tenants? Well, the tenants haven't been able to pay rent. Well, in some cases, we already knew that some tenants were not able to pay rent even before COVID. Now, what about when there is this pandemic where people have been retrenched? SAA has literally closed, right? But there's many other businesses out there that have closed. This has put immense pressure on a lot of landlords. And now those landlords now are throwing it into the towel, and they're saying they don't want these properties. But this is not the first time it has happened. It happened in 2000, it happened in 2008. But guess what? I was still an employee at the time, and I didn't know what I didn't know. My mind wasn't sharp as it is today, and I didn't see those opportunities. But here is the thing, within this unfair advantage window, me and you, we can come together and capitalize on the properties that are available today. Well, you might be saying, TJ, well, the banks have been giving out loans and the banks have been rescuing our people. The same banks, ladies and gentlemen, they are also repossessing some of these properties. But remember that it is not the bank's business to keep the properties. The bank's business is to sell money. And I'm going to show you how they sell money. And that's their primary business. It's not to run properties and to hold properties on their book. They don't want to do that. But if these properties are now available like this, what does that mean? The banks are going to sell them. But it's not just the banks who are going to sell them. Even landlords themselves are going to be selling. Now, it is an opportunity where you and I can then go through and buy these properties. It's simple mathematics. That's what it is. All right. Okay, let's go along. Now, on my next slide here, I just want to go to it. There we are. I just want to talk about the other unfair advantage that we are seeing. This is the student accommodation. We've been seeing, or we've been hearing, and it's been in the news that there is a huge shortage for students in our communities. Actually, this is not a South African thing, but it's actually a global thing. Go and check out for yourself. You will see that in the news, they speak about it. This is one advantage that we think that within the period, we can actually literally buy some of these properties that we are talking about and convert them into student accommodation. And out of that, we can make some money. So we've literally asked ourselves and we said, okay, let's make this our duty to create opportunities so that people like you can come in and invest, but not just invest, but also co alongside us in terms of ownership in some of these properties. We asked ourselves the question of how best can we do it? And we went out and we realized that we can actually have a fund. And this is called the Section 12J. So the Section 12J, our financial service license that we've got there, that's the number 47737. And that's the number that we report back to. And we partnered up and we are now M5 Rentsel. And you'll see that we share that license with Rentsel. Well, we created what is called a Section 12J. And some of you might not know what is a Section 12J. I'm going to explain it to you. And basically what happened in the early 2000s, the government realized that a lot of money was leaving the country. People were turning millionaires and they would leave the country. So the National Treasury came together with SARS, together with the Financial Service Board, and then they said, how best can we make sure that this money stays into the country? And they created a special vehicle, a special company. So it's a company like any other companies, but it becomes special because it is now called Section 12J. And this is where SARS would then be able to give refunds or rebates to people that will invest in such kind of companies. So people like you who come in as taxpayers, they invest, and we are now also a Section 12J, and that's what we are. And that's what, in simple terms, a Section 12J is all about. But then this year, in 2021, in February, so the Section 12J has been running all the way from 2009. It got some extra benefits in 2015. And this year, the Minister of Finance, Tito Mboweni, then says, no more. This cannot go ahead. The tax breaks that we are getting in and the refunds that we are getting in the Section 12J, they cannot go in ahead. And this now is being cancelled. And the last date of investing in a Section 12J is now the 30th of June. Now, you could be asking yourself, 30th of June, which year? This month. I know what today's date, we are a couple of days away from it. And ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time to make sure that we can invest in a Section 12J. But I'm going to explain a little bit further in terms of why you would want to invest in a Section 12J. It's not just about properties, but for us, we have actually seen that it is a unique opportunity that we do have, ladies and gentlemen, to combine the unfair advantages that are coming through with COVID and everything else that is a ripple effect within the COVID, but also combining it with the Section 12J. Because the Section 12J, there's lots and lots of refunds that you can get from SARS, which then makes obviously your investments more lucrative than anything else that we have seen in our lifetime. Well, who is M5 for? So some of you have seen what we've been doing and who we are, but the reality is maybe you might be thinking, oh, this is not for me. Let me clear the cloud for you. M5 is for people that know that they are going to be investing with other people. Because if you're investing in a fund, it's not your money only in it, but other people's money in it as well. Number two, you need to be understanding how money can work for you. Gone are the days where you need to be exchanging your time for money. You can exchange your money for more money. As Rita says it, more money, as Rita says it, she normally says, you can invest your monies and it can have money babies. So that's something that is also cool. But it's also important that people need to understand the tax incentives and how it can work in your advantage. And this is what we are going to be talking about in our presentation today. But I just want to make it clear in terms of so that you can understand how money flows. Because for some of us, we don't know. We think that putting money at the bank is the safest thing. Let's find out. So in reality, all the banks that we have in the country, whether it is local banks or overseas, the flow of money is that they see you as an investor. So you could be putting your money in a deposit account, in a call account. They have all sorts of products that they call them. The reality is that the banks then take the same amount of money across board, and then they sell it to people like me. They sell that money for simple things like loans, for simple things like commercial loans, property loans, credit cards, and things like that. And potentially they sell the same money back to you as well. Now, is this wrong or is this bad? Well, it's just the system. That's how the system is. That's how the flow of money is. And if we really look at it, there is another opportunity that we can look at, and we can say, well, if you're an investor already, in case you didn't know, this time around, you can bypass the middleman and you can invest directly with experienced investors. Because if you are to look at how much you are earning at the bank right now in today's returns, let's just take on a 12 months product that you've got with your bank. And if you are to look apples to apples with one of our 12 months product, you will see that the bank is ripping you off. But I'm not going to talk about that. I want you to go and check it for yourself as we go along. But it doesn't matter where you are today. It's what you can do with your money tomorrow. So what do we invest in at M5 Property Addicts? Well, we invest in student accommodation. This is one of our projects that we have done in Cape Town. There's several others that we have done in recent times in an area called Potchefstroom. And basically this deal here that you're looking at, it's a deal that one of our subsidiaries called My Student House looks after. They look after all of our students in all of these places. And basically on this deal here, we bought it for $1.2 million, and the next house we bought it for $1.5 million. We went out and renovated this particular place with an additional $750,000, and boom, we've been able to have students on this place now. It's close to 2 years on this particular place that we're talking about. And we are making roughly about 3,000 Rand a bed, and there's about 43 students there in that place. Now, you could be asking yourself, how do you get involved? Well, you can get involved by investing, and we will go and do the work. So we will go and find the properties. We will go and place the students. My Student House will look after the students, and that's how you get the reward. This is also another project that we have recently done, a mixed use of 30 units, which is down here in Johannesburg. and this is an affordable housing. And you could be asking yourself the question now to say, okay, TJ, how do I get involved here? Well, simply put, you can invest in a 1-year investment, which is a no strings attached. So for 1 year, you can invest and we will give you 14% on your money. So a minimum of 100,000 gives you 14,000 Rand, right? And out of that, we will distribute 1,166 in your bank account. If you are investing 500,000, well, those mathematics there times 5. If you want to invest 1 million, well, those mathematics times 10. That's what it basically is. We distribute on the 10th of each month, and if you bank with our bank, then you will get the monies on the same day. If not, definitely you now need to wait a day or two just to allow for the transfers in a day or two. Our investment fund of number 2 is a 3-year trust investment. So basically, you lock your funds in the projects or in the fund for 3 years. And what will happen in here is that the money will come through a minimum of investment of 100,000, will come through and sit in here with us at the attorneys. And from the attorneys, we will then allocate a project within the trust. So this is a trust fund, and we will go and buy properties cash. From buying those properties cash, we will then be able to manage them with the likes of my student house if it is a project with students. I want to give you an example. We've got a targeted return of 14%. And so this is a 3-year minimum partnership that we're talking about. These are the 2 projects that we have recently bought within the trust fund, right? So we've got different funds. So this is fund number 2, right? And I just want us to jump into a project, right? So within this particular project, which is a 30 mixed use building, when we bought this at 11 million, and the returns that we are having on this particular project is sitting on 17%. And you could be saying, TJ, but you said a targeted return on 14, but now this is 17. We are chasing nothing less of 14%. If it gives us 17%, it's hooray for all the investors that are in the trust. Now, another project that we can talk about, this is a recent project that we bought at the beginning of the year. And this is a 25-bed. We were buying this on as a 30-bed, and it turned out to be 25. And at the moment, we bought this particular place with a full capex of 3 million, and the property value of this building here is justly above 4 million. Now, the beauty about this is that we bought these properties, particularly this one here, we bought it cash, but now what's going to happen is we're going to apply what is called leverage. Leverage just means that we can go to the bank on this property here and ask the bank to give us a loan. When they give us a loan, we're going to get this 3 million back, and we're going to buy another property, and all the beneficiaries in the trust will enjoy the benefits of this property, plus the other property, and this property as well. So the trust fund grows and grows and grows, but obviously for our investors, they would have invested once, right? So let me jump in. I've been talking about the Section 12J, and the Section 12J is something that is now coming to an end, right? We did say it's closing on the 30th of June. I know that today is not the 15th of June, but I want to be very practical with you. For us to do your paperwork, we need about 2 days, right? So if you have to look in the times of the working days that we've got, we don't have 30 days anymore, right? We don't have 20 days anymore. We're literally left with 10 to 14 days, because you need to, number one, apply, and then we need to acknowledge your application. And then there is agreements that you still need to sign. And on top of that, you still need to send the money through to us. If that money is coming through from a different bank, it will take a day or 2 for that money to be reflected on our side. So for that reason, we do have 14 days that are left between now and the 30th of June for us to be able to close up, or for you to invest in the Section 12J. Now, let's talk in detail. What is a Section 12J? I'm going to simplify it. I did speak of a 1-year investment. It's a 14%, right? That's what you get. You get paid on a monthly basis. And now I'm speaking to the 5-year investment. So there's a minimum of a 5-year investment. And what happens on here is, well, everyone, I need you to look at yourself as an investor and someone who can invest. So you are going to invest and your money is going to come through to M5 Property Addicts. What you will get is a share certificate that then identifies your amount that you have paid, and together with a tax certificate. And within this tax certificate is the tax certificate that you're going to take to SARS with e-filing at the end of the year when the tax season opens. And SARS will give you a refund, right? And we're going to talk about how much is that you're going to be getting from SARS. If you are one of those people that are being paid on a higher income, potentially you could be earning, potentially you're being taxed 45% on your money. So it basically means that whatever you are going to invest, you're going to get 45%. Ladies and gentlemen, this was really designed for the wealthy. Originally, a Section 12J, you could only invest in the minimum of 1 million rand, but we pushed the boundary and we asked the question, why can we not do it on 100,000? It was accepted. And we asked the question, why can it not be done on 50,000? And it was accepted. So at the moment, investing in a Section 12J, the minimum investment is sitting at 50,000. I'm hoping that this makes sense. Basically, you're an investor. You invest in a Section 12J. We are not the only Section 12J. There's around about 217 Section 12Js in the country. They all do different things. We are in the student accommodation, and that's where we play in. The fundamentals of it are all the same across board. However, the returns that you get. Now, in our Section 12J, you get dividends. So we're going to rent these properties, and out of that, we are going to give you the dividends. But remember, property appreciates over time. So within this 5 years, your property is also going to appreciate. But already some of you are now asking yourself the question, and if I was employed and I was in this meeting today, I would probably asking myself the same question. So what is my tax bracket? It's okay if you don't know your tax bracket, but I hope at least you know what is your cost to company, right? Because that's what you're always negotiating, isn't it, right? So if you are earning anything from 613,000 all the way to 1.6, it basically means that you are on the tax bracket of 41%. Anything over and above that, you are sitting on the 45%. Now you can look here and you can say to yourself, where am I? You know exactly how much you earn, so you can check yourself. Now, if I'm to look in the same here mathematics, so for instance, let's say I earn 900,000. That's my cost to company. I'm on 900,000, so which means that my tax bracket is 45%. What it basically means is that if I'm to invest on here, it basically means that SARS is going to give me a rebate of 41% on my capital. So if I invest 100,000, I'm going to get 41,000 back. If I invest 100 million, I'm going to get 410 back in my pocket, right? Now, but you are investing in a fund. So what is the fund going to give you? But bearing in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this tax rebate that you're going to get, you're going to get it once. So it's a once-off tax rebate. If we're to look at it from an investment perspective, there is nothing that beats this. And this is why we say that, you know, this is a very beautiful thing that is going away, but it's going away. We are not the government. We can't change it. It is what it is. But now let's talk about, let's say, you know for a fact that you've got some money that's coming in, right? And you've got some portion of money at the moment. And you are thinking the 30th of June is going to come and go, but you don't want to be left out. Now, this is for you. We can give you a finance option. So literally from a fund perspective, John needs to facilitate, or he will facilitate this for you. And basically what we are saying here, you can invest, let's assume 500,000. So 500,000 is our minimum. Okay. So you will invest 500,000, but you don't have to pay the 500,000 today or before the 30th of June, but you will pay a deposit of 250,000, which then means that you now have an outstanding of an additional 250 to get your 500,000. And between now and the next 5 years, Joe will then speak to you in terms of how best you'll be able to pay for your difference of your 250,000, but you reap the benefits. Now, you can invest 2 million rand. You don't have to have 2 million rand. You can have the 250 as a deposit today, and then the difference part of it, because you know that there is monies coming through. Maybe you're a doctor, you've got a practice and you know there's monies that come in. Maybe you're working overseas and you know that there's monies coming in. Whatever the case is, right? I'm not going to judge where your money is coming from, but you know for a fact that there is money coming through within the next couple of months or years. And within this period, all we need to secure is your 250 as a deposit. And we will give you a finance option of minimum of 500,000. That's your minimum investment. But you need to have a deposit of 250, and the maximum that you can invest on the finance option will be 2.5 million. So there'll be a loan agreement that needs to be signed. Your deposit is 250, and that loan needs to be signed before, I don't want to say the 30th of June, because if you're signing it before the 30th of June, it's kind of like too late. Friday the 25th, that should be your D-Day. Friday the 25th, so that we can get all the paperwork in and we don't have to rush for anything else. Imagine 100 of you coming in on the 30th. I guarantee you that queue, some of you might not be in. But I promise you, me and my team will be working until 12 midnight to make sure that you are in. But don't leave it for the last minute. Speak to us, please. Right. Why would you want to invest in a Section 12J? Well, you would want to invest in a Section 12J because of the great returns that it gives you, right? What are those returns? Let's assume that you've got a tax, you fall within the tax bracket of 30%. You invest R1 million, you are going to get 300,000 back, which is 30%. However, on the period of your investment within the fund of 5 years, each year you are banking a 7.5 on your return on investment from the fund. So that's the money that we are going to pay you. 30% is going to come from SARS, right? So nothing to do with us. That's how the Section 12J is designed. Many people have been reaping these benefits for years and years, all the way from around about 2009. I know you may be asking yourself, how come I didn't know about it? Hey, I also didn't know about it until around about November last year, all right? So that makes the two of us. Don't feel bad, okay? Now, I might want to say here, or let me stress out, your return on investment is based on, number one, the tax bracket that you're getting. Number two, the fund, because remember the fund went to buy properties, right? So the fund also now is going to give you a 7.5. But I want to put another disclaimer out there. This 7.5 is based on 2021 rental prices. So it basically means if the renter, or should I say the rents increase in 2022, which they do, you know that, right? I asked a few of you that started off with us at the beginning, have you invested in property before? And you said yes. And you do know that if you have rentals, they increase in pricing from a rental perspective year on year, from anything from 5% all the way to 10%, right? So this 7.5 that I'm sharing here with you, it is based on 2021 rental incomes. As the rentals continue to grow, so will this grow. What we have also not included in here is the appreciation of the actual assets. And in South Africa, we generally get an appreciation of around about 6%. Over a period of 10 years, we could potentially be doubling up in terms of our investment. And that's also another opportunity that is there. So if you're an individual, I've already shown you how much you potentially be, which tax bracket you should be on. So you already know. So for a minimum of 50,000, you can come in and you can already see how much money you're going to be getting. I want you to go back and double check where your money is sitting in right now today and see whether it is giving you a 13%, even if you're on the bottom brackets of the tax from a tax perspective, right? And if the answer is no, my question is, why do you want to keep your money there? But over and above what we're talking about, here is something cool. These guys that you're seeing here are real students that we've got in some of our buildings. This picture was literally taken a couple of days ago. And some of you do have kids that are going into university in a year or two. And what we are going to be doing is that for people that are investing with us, and they are in the areas, your child is now going into universities in the areas where we do have student accommodation, we will trade your dividends for free accommodation. Yes, we did say that. So you don't have to be paying up for those heavy accommodation, and we'll do that. Within the 5 years that you're going to be investing with us, some people might want to exit. There is an option where you can exit, but you can only exit after 5 years. So on year number 6, right? So year number 5 years has elapsed, and now we are on year number 6. You can sell off your shares if you want to. Allowed. It's a standard practice, and thereout, the fund itself can retain the shares. So we'll buy them from you because we are in it for a longer haul. Property is our game. We enjoy it and we understand it. But it's okay if you want to exit. There is an exit clause in terms of 5 years, and that's the mark there. But if you don't want, you can stay with us for as long as we are in existence. So what is the next steps for you to come in and invest alongside of us? Just like any bank, all the banks, they report to the FSB. We also report to the FSB. So we follow the same regulations. There's an application form that you need to fill in. So, you know, it's not just about your money, but if your money is not clean money, just like at any other bank, if your money is not legit, they are going to unleash the police on you. The same thing with us. So there's an application form that you need to fill in, and out of that application form, we will see on the answers and how you have responded, and we will then approve of you. Our board is extremely strict around this application forms, and fill in the application form the way, just who you are. You know, you don't have to say, there is no right or wrong or right answers. It's about just you. And then the next thing that will happen is that there will be contracts that will be sent from our legal team. And out of that, you will then need to send your contributions. You'll receive all of your other paperwork, certificates, and things like that. And my team and I, we will go to work. And the next thing that is going to be happening is you'll get some communication of how you can be receiving what is called passive income. Does it make sense? I know it makes sense. I've been seeing a lot of the charts that are happening in there, but I also want to give you a teaser of a project that you and us can jump in. This is one project that we've been having. It's a project that is out in Poch. It's a portfolio, a couple of projects that are combined together. A senior citizen, he's retiring, and he has given us an opportunity to buy 150 beds, and you can come in alongside of us and invest in this project here. It's a number of projects put together, and 10 million. So if 10 of you just give us $1 million, I'll be able to go to work, my team and I, and we'll be able to get this project off the ground. Well, it's time for you to make a decision, and not making a decision is also still making a decision. But I want you to be actively making a decision tonight. And that decision is, are you going to invest on a period of 1 year, so that you can get your money paid monthly, right? Whatever amount that is, I don't know how much money is available. You can tell me in the comments that say, TJ, I've got 2 billion, I've got 1 million, that's okay. But don't do that. You might put pressure on other people that don't have, so it's okay. The other one you can do is that you can also invest in a minimum of 3 years, right? So that's within the trust. We call that infinity returns because, you know, we're just recycling that money. You're investing once and we're recycling that money. You're getting babies and babies and babies of babies of babies of money. Or you can invest in the Section 12J, which is paid yearly and you can earn up to 17%. Well, I've been looking at some of the banks that I like, not that I invest. I don't put my money there. I like to just get money from there. And in one instance, the Black Bank, it doesn't have a branch. They're saying that they can give you a powerful goal savings, and you can earn up to 7% per year. All right. How can we help you? They're claiming to give you on their fixed deposit, they will give you an 8% maximum, which means that there might be a minimum, isn't it? We're not talking a maximum or minimum. We'll give you 14%. 14% is 14%. There's no any other cost. 14% is 14%, right? And on the trust, infinity is infinity. We work hard, we get the reward. Simple, finish and clear. How about the minimum and the maximum? 8%. I don't know. It's really up to you. But here's the thing. After 30 June, that option there that you're seeing up to 7%, it's gone. It's literally gone. And you are going to miss the opportunity if you are not going to jump into the application form for you to invest alongside us. But before I go, I just want to share with you guys the reality of where we are living right now in South Africa. We've got what is called inflation. Everybody knows what inflation is. At the moment, they are saying, I grabbed this picture today. This is like recently as today. I went on to Stats SA. You can jump on Stats SA on your own. And they are saying there, our inflation has risen to 4.4. Now, the question that I want to ask of you is, if the bank is giving you an 8%, others are giving you up to 7%, and the inflation is sitting on almost 5%. Are you really saving? Is your money really making sense wherever it is sitting right now? Maybe at African Bank. I don't know. Maybe how can we help you invest it? I don't know, wherever your money is at the banks. I'm just asking you the question that your hard-earned money, is it working hard for you? That's the question that you need to answer yourself. And you can sleep tonight around it, but you can copy the link, the application form, and you can come back to us. And all I'm saying to you is that you can invest directly with investors, and you can cancel the middleman. And by doing that, your money starts to work a little bit harder. We all know that as an investor, the money is going to go to the bank, and then from the bank, it is going to be recycled, and they are going to make money off me when I'm getting the home loan or when I'm getting the commercial loan to buy the buildings. But here's the thing. Even if you don't give me the money to invest alongside me, I'm still going to get it. Because at the bank where you're going to put it, they're going to give us. So make the decision in terms of how best can it help you. I think the answer there is very simple to that question. But I'm going to leave it to you. It's your money. You need to make the decision. I'm going to leave you with a short video. And within this video, these are other people just like you who have made the decision to take their monies from where it wasn't growing enough, and they've started investing with us, and together we've been making a difference. My name is TJ. It's been great hanging out with you. And for some of you who are going to be investing with us, we will see you at our show and tells, where we bring in people that have invested with us into these buildings so that you can see, touch, feel all of these projects. And if you have any other questions that are potentially haven't been addressed in here, I'd like you to then fill in the application form and we will speak to you directly. But other than that, God bless and good night.
And you've now investing with us. And what gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
Basically, I saw the work that you guys do. I really have faith in it. I'm here to make money. I think you are a proven and tried and tested method. I watch all your YouTube videos, some very insightful content, and I really believe in the journey that you're on right now. And I like your strategy, and so I invested.
Cool. Too many more.
Too many more.
Sure. You've been investing with us for a while. And the first time round, I think it's about 2 years now?
Yeah, 2 years.
Okay. And the first time round when you invested with us, what gave you the leap of faith of investing with us?
I think I had just gotten tired of looking and postponing, and because I just didn't have the time to find properties myself, when I came across you guys, I thought I'm making more money with you than trying to manage a tenant and getting like a fraction of what I was getting with you, so it made sense.
And how do you enjoy that money that comes through?
Yes, on the 10th, yes.
Right.
Every morning on the 10th, my WhatsApp is there and it's already in my bank account. So I think it's also very comforting that it's never late. So you know you can trust the people that are behind the money.
Awesome stuff. So Dimitri, you've been investing with us now for what? 2 to 3 years?
2 years, 18 months about.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first time round when you started investing with us, what gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
It's just a trust and relationship. You either have it from the, for me personally, it was just that connection from the first time we met. So for me, it was the trust, the relationship, and just seeing what happens, what you guys are, what you're sort of motivated and driving towards, to get property investments and to add value and stuff like that. So that was my take on it. It's, and I'm always connect with people from, so automatically for me that, just made sense. And the relationship, I mean, we connected from the first time. So, so for me, I think it's, you got to connect with someone first and foremost, because if the connection's not there, it's no matter what they do.
Sure.
And then that naturally followed, what you guys are doing. So
100%.
Yeah.
And you've been enjoying your profits?
No, absolutely. I mean, there's no two words about it. It comes when it comes, no matter what happens. There's communication. During COVID, there was communication, what you guys were going through. So I think that's all you really want.
Cool.
That's all you really want.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thanks for investing with us.
Thanks.
And
Thanks for the opportunity.
Sure. What gave you the leap of faith to invest with us?
Firstly, your team. When I looked at your team, because I started knowing you guys earlier this year, around I think it was just before lockdown.
Sure.
Now, when I looked at your team, each of the members of your team, they are quite credible. Besides you yourself, of course, being the SA Investor of the Year last year.
Sure.
Because I mean, the SEPIN team, anything that they credit must be trustworthy, because the SEPIN team themselves are quite a credible team.
Awesome.
Yes, my brother.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
So Hesho, you've been investing with us.
Yeah.
What made you take the leap of faith to invest with us?
So TJ, I think for me it was the fact that I've been following you for some time. We came through the same education system, proper investment, and I've seen what you've done, and I think for me it was sort of an easy decision, to invest with you and to build a partnership with you and to create a legacy for ourselves and our family and creating accommodation for people.
Cool.
Yeah.
Too many more.
Like,
Thank
cool.
you.